Well, hello everybody, it's Keagan here. I'm back with another video for you guys, and today's video I'm bringing you guys is another edition of Keagan's Movie Reviews. And today's film I'm going to be talking about is a film with a pretty big reputation. It's the Citizen Kane of bad movies, and of course, that film being the 2003 Tommy Wiseau film, The Room, written, directed, and starring Tommy Wiseau, and was released on June 27th, 2003. Now, this is a film I've been wanting to check out for a very long time, and I finally checked it out for the first time at one of my local theaters that was screening the film last Friday. And usually they screen the film at this theater I went to. They usually screen the film. They screen the film all the time, but they usually screen it at around midnight. But thankfully, the time I went to see it, it was a 9:30 screening, so I had to go see it for the first time. And we'll get to my thoughts on that a little later. But I will tell you a lot about my experiences when I saw the film in the theater throughout this video. Now, if you haven't seen The Room, perhaps you might have heard of it or maybe seen clips of it, but even if you haven't seen the film in its entirety, perhaps you've seen clips of it. Or maybe you've heard of it through the 2017 film The Disaster Artist, which was about like a film biopic on the production of the film, and know it through that way. Now, The Room has a pretty big reputation for being considered by many the best bad movie of all time, or the Citizen Kane of bad movies. And it rightfully so. It rightfully deserves that title, in my opinion. And it's got a pretty big cult following. Now, what made the film so bad and so fascinating? Well, we'll get to that a little later, but we'll talk about the inconsistent storyline of the film, and then we'll get to my opinions on the film and why I think is what made the film so popular despite the film being so bad. So let's talk about The Room. So the storyline for The Room is pretty straightforward, sort of. It follows a banker named Johnny, played by Tommy Wiseau, and the film takes place in San Francisco. And Johnny seems to be having a good life. He's got a wonderful girlfriend, some great friends, and a particular best friend named Mark, played by Greg Sestero. And it all seems everything's going well for Johnny until it turns out that Lisa is having an affair on Johnny. After 7 years of being in love and being engaged, Lisa decides to have an affair on Johnny with Mark. And there's, little does Johnny know, there's some dark secrets lurking, like some dark secrets that are going to be lurking to him, like that's going to be revealed. And wow, that's basically the storyline of the film in a nutshell, if you could even call it that, because the storyline is very inconsistent. Now, like I said earlier in the video, the film has got a pretty big reputation for being the best, worst movie of all time, and it rightfully deserves that title. The film, I believe, is so popular despite being how bad it is of its bizarre script. Like, the storyline is so inconsistent. It just switches genres. It switches from romance, it switches to drama, it switches from like thriller, because there's a scene where one of the characters is on a rooftop with a drug dealer who threatens to shoot him until Johnny and Mark save the day and help bring the drug dealer into jail or something. Like, it's pretty bizarre, like how inconsistent the storyline is, and the film is quotable too. Like, keep your comments in your pocket or something. Probably my favorite quote from the movie is one I'm sure a lot of you probably know of, where Johnny goes up to the roof, like throws a bottle on the ground, and he's like, "I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark." Yeah, that's probably my favorite line in the movie. Like, the movie is just so quotable. Like, even if you haven't seen it, you might know some quotes from it, from like clips and other people on YouTube talking about the movie. And Tommy Wiseau is like, he's like a completely different character. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not like in a way of David Lynch or anything. It's just, I don't know what it is, but he sort of reminds me a little bit of David Lynch, kind of. But the film has got a pretty big cult following. There's like some books about it, like The Disaster Artist, which later got turned into a movie in 2017, which I will probably check out and maybe do a review on someday. And I believe there was a stage play adaptation of The Room. I'm not sure though. I could be wrong though. And supposedly there's going to be a remake of this film coming out with Bob Odenkirk, which seems interesting. But now I'm going to get to the part of the video where I talk about my experience of seeing the film in theaters. So I saw the film for the first time in theaters last Friday at one of my local theaters called the Metro Cinema, which is my favorite theater to go to. It's the same theater where I saw movies like Drive My Car. I saw the 4K re-release of Lost Highway there on my birthday back in July. And I just love that theater. And they do play this movie a lot, usually at a midnight screening, but the screening I went to was like a 9:30 screening, and I said, "Yeah, this is perfect. I had to go see it." And this was a film I've been wanting to check out for a long time, and needless to say, I was not disappointed by it. And when I saw it in the theaters, that was probably the best theater going experiences of my life. Like, holy shit, it was awesome. Now, when I was going into the theater, like when I was paying for my ticket and I was getting my popcorn, one of the staff asked, was like, "Would you like some spoons?" And I'm like, I'm good. Because at the time, I didn't know what the spoons represented the movie until not long into the movie, like after it started. Because people started throwing plastic spoons in the air and shit. Because I didn't know this until later that the spoons represented the movie as a whole. And a lot of screenings of this movie have people throwing plastic spoons like like around the air and shit. And I'm like, after I didn't know this until like much later, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I can tell you this won't be the last time I see the movie in theaters. And the next time I go, I'm gonna get some plastic spoons. It's not the only thing about it that there were people throwing plastic spoons. Like people were shouting out like the most random shit, like whatever happened in the movies, whether they were singing along to the music or saying some of the famous quotes from the movie. They even actually had the subtitles turned on for this movie, like when I saw it in the theaters. It was just one of the best theater going experiences of my life. I loved it when the people in the audience were saying the most random shit. One there was like everyone was chanting, "Show us the ass, show us the ass." Oh my god, like I never laughed and cried at the same time at a movie, like in a movie theater, like ever. Like that's probably the most fun I've had in seeing the movie in a theater. And I would highly recommend seeing this movie in a theater if you haven't seen it, especially if you're going to see it for the first time. Like it is worth it. Now we get to my thoughts on the movie. Now, as bad as the movie is, like the acting is all the acting is terrible. The script is poorly written and so very inconsistent. There's like one subplot in the movie that I forgot what it was, but it was left unresolved like at the end of the film. And it's a film so bad, but it's so entertaining. It's no wonder why it's considered the best bad movie of all time. I know this movie is right up there with the like bad movies with a cult following. It's up there with the likes of movies like Troll 2 and Showgirls, which both of those movies I do plan to check out someday. Maybe cross them off my watch list this year. But as bad as The Room may be, it is probably the most one of the most entertaining experiences I've had going to the movies. Probably the most entertaining I've ever had going to a movie ever. Like it was just so much fun. I will definitely see this movie in the theater again. But if you haven't seen The Room, I would highly recommend you check it out. Grab some friends, get some alcohol, or if you're going to a local theater, if you were at a local theater that could be screening the movie, check it out. I would highly recommend it. And don't forget your plastic spoons if you go to seeing it in the theater, depending if the theater will have plastic spoons provided. But yeah, I would highly recommend if you haven't seen it. So I don't really have anything else to add, so I'm just going to give The Room a 10 out of 10, or in reality, I would give the film a 2 out of 10, but it's a 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's all I got to say about The Room. Well guys, that wraps up another edition of Keagan's Movie Reviews. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, as always, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment below, subscribe for more videos like this, and share the video with your friends, family, or whoever, turn on notifications, and yeah, you know the rest. But yeah, so and what do you guys think of The Room? Let me know in the comment section below. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this video. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, this is Keagan Shepherd signing off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out.